This is the first video that I am filming in 4 months, and it feels so weird. And my life is just completely different at this point. But here we go. We're getting back to it. But first, if you're new here, hi, my name is Lauren Simpson. I'm helping you maximize your time and talents as a growing small business owner, so make sure to subscribe for brand new videos on a regular basis. Don't know if it's every week now because that's life after having a child. So I figured I would do this video get ready with me style, very makeup guru-esque, which is my roots on YouTube anyway. But it's also multitasking because I only have so much time now that I have a 3-month-old. So I'm doing this a little out of order. I'm going to be talking today about running a business in the 4th trimester, which is the 3 months directly following having a baby, which the day that I'm filming this, my baby is 3 months old today, which is wild to say. And then at some point I do plan to post a video all about running your business in the 3rd trimester, which is the one that I have yet to do because I like to get through the trimesters before talking about how they went. And obviously that ended in childbirth. So I needed a quick second to adjust. So running your business in the 4th trimester is different. The thing is that your business doesn't go away, doesn't stop existing, doesn't stop having needs, but your needs dramatically shifted. So the first thing that happened was I had given birth on a weekend, and weekends are the busiest time during the busiest month of the year, which is October, in wedding season. So I had to literally, I'm not joking, I was in labor and I put, I do these like little happy wedding day kind of stories on Instagram stories for every client that we have. And I literally put that up when I was in labor. I put it up the morning after I gave birth at 3 in the morning. Yeah, so I still did those little Instagram posts, and nobody knew that I was in labor or giving birth at this point. No one on my team, no one, no clients, obviously. Like, it was all hush hush until I announced it, because why would you want to make them worried? So that was funny because I was still doing that behind the scenes. So yeah, immediately after giving birth, I was still kind of on. But I'll be real. In the 2 to 3 weeks directly following when I gave birth, I was very hands-off. Besides doing like these Instagram posts, I was hands-off because luckily, all those weddings were in the hands of really responsible, awesome team members of mine. All the weddings went off without a hitch. Which is amazing because it does take a lot of kind of monitoring, and maybe people have questions and just things that are always being texted to me on the other side. If I'm not working the wedding, I'm still kind of on. And I got really lucky that all of the weddings that were happening went smoothly for those couple weeks, because what ended up happening, I was recovering from a C-section. I ended up getting postpartum preeclampsia and had to be readmitted and treated for that. And then my baby was in the NICU for 10 days. So those first few weeks, I was not functioning as a business owner, like, quite frankly. But here's where the 3rd trimester stuff really came in handy. I guess throughout my whole pregnancy, prepped for this moment. So I plan to talk more about this in the 3rd trimester video, so keep an eye out for that. And once it's out, hopefully I'll like link it in this video somewhere. But basically, I had done things like all of the pre-wedding appointments, like trials, ahead of time, way ahead of time. I did them earlier than usual with our clients. And then in September, I had reached out to all of the clients and was like, hey, here's what's happening. Here's when my maternity leave is starting unofficially. Here's, what's going on, because I don't know exactly when I'm going to give birth. And I just wanted people to be in the know of, like, the first few weeks after birth, I'm not really going to be in my inbox. But then after that, throughout November and December, I plan to be in there like once a week, kind of keeping afloat. If anything's kind of pressing, I'm there. And that's what I did. So basically, like I said, throughout the rest, I gave birth on October 14th, and I did not do a single business-related thing until October 31st. It was 2.5 weeks, and I truly needed that. And I'm really, really blessed and grateful that I had that and that it worked out. So once October 31st came, that's when I got several weeks of payroll out the door. So I pay my team via checks through the mail. They get paid on a weekly basis during wedding season. But I obviously also communicated with them that those first couple weeks, the payments would be slightly delayed because I was going through it and quite literally couldn't handle it. And these are people that have worked with me for years. So thankfully, they were totally understanding, and they knew that I was good for it. Like, I have never messed with their payments. I mean, I make sure those things go out on time, are calculated right. If something's miscalculated, I'll correct it. Like, it's a whole, I don't mess with that because I really value, what they do for the team, and obviously you want to be paid on time. So I communicated with them that their payments were going to be a little bit late. So then that first day back, when I say back, I mean the last few months have really just been on the computer, like at home. I didn't actually like go anywhere and do physical work, but back in that sense. So that first day back, I sent out weeks worth of payments, which took a while to do. But I did that. And that's also the first day that I went into my inbox and just kind of checked out what was going on. So even though I was only gone for 2.5 weeks, because quite literally the morning I went to my follow-up appointment, when I was already in labor and I knew I was going to basically give birth that day, I still went to my inbox, got back to a couple people that were like lingering, and put my away message on. This is how I am, okay? I'm like so serious about my business and making sure things are organized, people are cared for, and all of that. And it's just, it blows my mind that I was in full-blown labor and I still did that. But yeah, despite it only being 2.5 weeks, I still had hundreds of emails between both my inboxes. So what I did was that morning, we had a follow-up appointment scheduled with my midwife, because we were still monitoring my blood pressure really closely at this point. And yeah, just like checking in and all that. So the office is like 35-ish minutes away. So what I did was I sat in the back seat with the baby. I couldn't drive. This is still like the cutoff where I couldn't drive at that point. I obviously couldn't lift the car seat because of the C-section. And my husband was also thankfully off work. So he drove, and I sat in the back seat with the baby, and I literally brought my laptop with me, and I was starting to sift through my inbox. And it really helped because basically by the time we got there, I was able to get rid of like all the junk and the filler emails, and I was able to start getting back to people. And then on the way home, I still was getting back to people. And so by being efficient like this, I was able to basically use dead time to be productive and get back to people so that I could still be on when I needed to be when we got back home and feed my baby. And, I was still learning with breastfeeding and caring for him because there was no schedule at that point. He's a newborn. So that's one of my biggest tips in the 4th trimester. If you find yourself having to work in any capacity while you are adjusting to a new baby and you've never done this before, is use the pockets of time that you can wisely. And also give yourself grace when you can't. In the first couple months, I really was only making myself get back to people once a week because I wanted to be on maternity leave. I wanted to bond with my baby. I wanted to heal. I wanted to do the things I needed to do without so much focus on my work. And luckily, we're going into, at that point, the slower wedding season, so I didn't have as many weddings to keep track of, as many clients reaching out, as many team members needing things. So it really just worked out timing-wise, too. But essentially, I would either multitask and take my laptop with us when we went to a pediatrician appointment or a follow-up or something, and I would get back to emails in the car, or I would take like an hour or two, and that's the time that my husband was bonding with the baby or napping with the baby or something like that. And then, like I said, give yourself so much grace. Because there have been so many times during this time that I have had every intention to get back to people, that I have had every intention and desire to carve out some work time. Didn't happen at that moment the way I wanted it to. Because at the end of the day, you have a baby, and that baby rules everything, doesn't have a schedule, and will just control your entire life. And yeah, that's it. That has been a big adjustment. The hardest part of it has been January. As you may have noticed, if you are an avid watcher of my videos on this channel, it's been about a month now since I have last uploaded. Now, I was really proud of myself, and again, I'll go into this more in depth in my third trimester video. But I was really proud of myself for pre-filming and pre-editing a lot of content. That took a lot of work, especially when I was feeling not so hot at the end of my pregnancy. But that way, I was able to have content on a regular basis every week being uploaded through, I think it was mid-December. And again, I gave birth on October 14th, so killed it. But basically, ever since then, I don't have content left, and I can some days barely get back to emails that are important and are the money makers and things like that right now, let alone growing a YouTube channel for free. So as much as I want to continue this channel on a regular basis and be serious about it, and I have every intention of still uploading here, it's like at this point, I don't know if I can commit to every single week anymore, which is really, it saddens me because I do see that my channel is steadily growing, which is really exciting, and I have so many content ideas and like things I want to put out there, but I just kind of have to see how it goes. We are at the point where we're still trying to figure out childcare. We don't have a ton of help. Our child is not going to daycare, and we're trying to just see how it goes. So the last thing I can say, what I have found in this fourth trimester, you have to be flexible, you have to give yourself grace, and you have to prioritize what is of the utmost importance. And that can't forget you. It has mentally been a very difficult time for me in this fourth trimester. Again, when you don't have a ton of help from people, when you have complicated family situations, when you have a lot on your plate that you can't really get to, when you have a really fussy baby that requires a lot of attention and soothing and all that, like it just kind of adds up. And so ultimately I had to take care of me, my mental health, obviously my baby, and then I have to really prioritize what are the most important parts of my business that need to be done when. So something else that I'll do is every now and then we get someone who comes over for like 3 hours at a time or something. And my husband, he works from home those days, and then I am able to go to the office, which is this room, and just focus on getting work done, like have real focus time. And that is so valuable to me because I'm able to put together a really nice to-do list ahead of time and just put my head down and get real work done. So that's also my suggestion is if you do have even occasional help, because I know how it is, not on a regular basis, not for 8 hours, not, like I get it. But if you have occasional help, make sure your to-do list is done ahead of time. And then when you get into that few hour time block, be in the zone. Like, it's so amazing how much more you can get done in a short amount of time after becoming a parent because you like know how valuable that is and you just know that that's the time you have to get it done. So even though this video was a little bit casual and all over the place, I hope you still found some help from it. If you are also about to be navigating the 4th trimester as a small business owner, my biggest advice, like I said, take it slow, give yourself grace, focus on what matters, and know that you'll get back to it eventually. I'm still in the part of I don't know what tomorrow or next week or next month or next year is going to look like at this point, but I know that this isn't forever, so I'm trying to be in the moment. And again, as long as I get the really time sensitive and pressing things done with, my business won't end. I've built it to the place where I know that everything will be okay. So you just got to believe that you've done the same, and it's all going to be okay. I'm not going to say, you got this, mama, though, because I also know how annoying that phrase can be. I'm going to link my pregnancy and postpartum playlist here for you. So if you'd like to see more of what I've been working with through this whole journey, then check that out. But I thought it would be really fun to kind of document that as a very new experience on this channel. I hope it's helpful for you, and I'll see you later.